Hello, everyone, and welcome to our studio. Welcome, Agnes Imani.
Hi, thank you.
What a pleasure to have such a beautiful young woman in our studio.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So before we start your story, I find your story fascinating. You are a mother of three, which is a handful of a busy job as it is. But before we start, I want you to tell us, why did you wake up one day and decided that you will make a difference?
Well, I just kept seeing how rising anti-Semitism in the world has been all over the news, all over social media, and I just got fed up one day and I said, you know what, I can't sit back anymore. I can't let this happen. It reminded me right before the Holocaust, the events that took place and how they started boycotting Jewish businesses.
So let's go back a little bit because, I mean, anti-Semitism, I don't think it was ever gone. It's just been on the rise like crazy, which I still can figure out why. I don't know why, what happened to make it on the rise, but it is. You know, it is. We can't turn our backs and say, no, Toronto, Canada, it's not going to happen. Just look at what's going around the world. And I guess the rise in anti-Semitism in New York made us all say, wake up.
Wake up, yeah.
So you did something that many organizations that have been around here forever have not done. And I'm talking about, you know, you guys can see the flyer of the anti-Semitism Toolbox. This is amazing. Walk us through it. Tell us what it's about.
So basically the idea that I had was that, you know, people are very frustrated and they know there's anti-Semitism, they just don't know what to do about it. They're afraid, they're frustrated, they want to do something, they don't know what to do. So my idea was to put together a series of events that focus on different aspects of anti-Semitism. So anti-Semitism we can focus on education. Very important to know, where does anti-Semitism stem from?
It's very important to know our own history, because if we don't know our own history, how are you going to defend it?
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
it's knowledge. We need to, I guess we need to arm our people with knowledge.
With knowledge on the Jewish state, the history of the Jewish state, Israel. And I myself found that I was lacking this information. And when people, you know, approached me and said, oh, Israel is an illegal state, I knew it wasn't, but I didn't know how to argue the fact that it was. So we need to educate ourselves so we have the right arguments to provide.
I'll tell you, I want to share something with you that I actually just found out 2 days ago. I'm looking through some, cleanup time, and I found a few documents that belong to my father. God rest his soul. And as I'm pulling the document, I see my father's birth certificate. I'm like, wow. And this is something really funny. I see that he was in part of it, half of it was in Hebrew, half of it was in English, because my father was born before 1948. So as I'm looking at the Hebrew side, he said, my father was born in Tel Aviv, Yafo, Eretz Israel, a country of Israel.
Right.
But when I look at the English side, it said he was born in Tel Aviv, Jaffa, Palestina.
Different translation altogether. Yes.
It didn't say Palestine. It says Palestina.
Palestina.
I thought it was hilarious, you know. So So I mean, Eretz Israel is not something that was born in 1948. It was born way before 1948. Anyway, I thought I had to share it because I thought it was so funny.
It is, and a lot of people don't understand the history of how Israel was formed and what mandates weren't put in place.
Of course.
And that's exactly why I've put together the first and the third evenings are to educate. So the first evening specifically is anti-Semitism, which is January the 16th. The third evening is January the 28th, and that talks about anti-Zionism, because anti-Zionism is a form of anti-Semitism.
Absolutely.
And people need to realize that.
And those that are trying to separate it are really wrong. It's one and the same.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yes.
But you have other stuff. It's amazing.
Yes, I do. And then January 21st, we have UJ and CJA and the York Region Police coming in to talk about awareness, because that's also very important.
Yes.
You see with what's happening in New York, people need to be aware and they need to be careful. The world is changing. They need to know what to look out for, where to report hate crimes, that they need to know to report these hate crimes to the police as well, not just to post it on social media.
I'm going to say something to everybody who's listening, especially today with the smartphone, because it happened to me that I was involved, I was not involved, I was there, happened to be there at the York University, riot that went, and I heard, some things, and I was told, because I didn't have it I didn't record it, it's like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It did happen. I did hear it. But, your testimony is still good. But I'm telling everyone, get your smartphone out as soon as you see anything and just videotape them. Don't forget, this is really important for us to document it on your phones.
Exactly. Video everything, take pictures.
Everything.
Whatever documentation you have is evidence that it happened. Like you said, without it, you cannot prove anything.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, think about it ahead of time. As soon as, get your phone ready and just film it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Then we have the fourth part of our series on February 2nd. It's a Krav Maga family workshop. Now, I don't need to explain why that's important. Self-defense, not only because of anti-Semitism, but in life, and it's for families, because children need to be able to stand up to bullies. They need to know how to protect themselves.
And women.
And women, for sure. Women are out at night. They need to know how to defend themselves against perpetrators. So that workshop is important, just to learn very basic self-defense techniques.
Well, just to get you going, and then for you to continue.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's great.
And then February 11th, we have an evening with the York Region Police and Magen David Adom. They have a workshop called The First 7 Minutes. And this evening deals with what to do in the event of a mass casualty incident.
I hope we never have to learn how to deal with anything like that, but it's important to know.
Exactly. I hope it'll never happen. When we had these incidents in the synagogues, in Poway and everywhere else in the world, they didn't think it was going to happen to them. We always say it's not going to happen to me, but God forbid it does happen. We need to be prepared. We need to know what to do, how to react.
I agree.
Do we run? Do we hide? What do we do? So both these workshops deal with that. Specifically, the Magen David Adom one deals with how to prepare the scene for paramedics as well. So if somebody's wounded, what do we do with the wounded people so that when the paramedics come, we're ready to treat them and take them away.
Very important, because the first few minutes are really crucial. For those that are injured. Agree.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Then the last part of our series, the February 18th, is to go a little bit more into detail about the medical training. So those who are interested, there is a CPR and a Stop the Bleed clinic. Now, I thought this was important because we do need people in the community. If, again, God forbid there was to be an attack, people who know how to heal blood wounds, how to use tourniquets, how to do CPR, so that we're not just all standing around not knowing what to do. It's so important to know this. And again, everyday life, as a mother, to be able to use these medical techniques on your children, on your parents, on your husband, or whoever needs it, right? It's important to know.
I agree with you 100%, and I think you're doing a tremendous job, but it should be up to the whole community to be behind you. What's been happening? Tell me.
So this is, again, something I started completely on my own, mother of 3. One day I got fed up. I got inspired by my rabbi's speech, who was saying, don't be the one to wait for someone else to do something. You do something. You get up and you do something. And I decided that day, it was actually Yom Kippur, and I decided that day, this message was meant for me. I need to get up. I need to do something. And I did. And I put this workshop together on my own with no funding.
I see Jews against anti-Semitism in Canada.
Yes, so I named my organization Jews Against Anti-Semitism Canada. And I decided I need to fight anti-Semitism. I'm an individual, I can make a difference. And my goal is to inspire other people to do the same. And every single individual can do something and can make a difference.
So speak to the people. What would you like them to do? First of all, I imagine, I think everyone should attend
Yes,
of the workshops, if not all of the workshops.
Yes, very important. Please attend the workshops.
Yes.
This is for everybody. Again, the hands-on workshops are workshops you can use in everyday life. It's not only for anti-Semitism. It's good to know these things, and it's good to educate yourself. And please bring your children. It's so important for our children to come and listen to our history and about what's happening in the world. They're our future, and we need to teach them. They need to know what's happening in the world.
And I think what's most important is we have to be united.
Yes,
we have to be united as a community, because if it's happening all around the world, it's going to end up at our door, whether we like it or not. So at least let us be prepared to look after our own.
I agree with you. Maybe I'm a dreamer.
No, you're not.
I feel like what difference could we make? What a huge difference we can make if all the organizations just came together and worked together to defeat this problem. This problem, I mean, it will never go away. There will always be haters, but we could definitely have a better handle on the situation, and we would feel a lot safer if we could just all work together, come together for this cause.
And I think what we also need, beside us being united, I think we should have some kind of rapport with other communities that, are our friends. We're not isolated. It's not just our community. I think we have to reach out to different communities to be our friends.
Yes, definitely. So we're all Jewish. We should all be united. There should be some kind of foundation, anti-Semitism foundation for all of North America, U.S., Canada. This is a global problem. This is not something that's just happening in New York or in Toronto or in Montreal. This is everywhere. And these workshops need to happen in every city where there's a Jewish population, so we can protect ourselves and we can educate ourselves.
A lot of the happening that I see, a reminder of like the 1930s, of what happened in Germany and how it started, and how the Jews in Germany didn't believe that this will happen to them. They're, Germans first. And sadly, we all know, what happened of the aftermath.
Yes.
But they didn't believe it. Right. And this is a lot of the time what I see here. I see the escalation, but the community is like sleeping. It's like Sleeping Beauty. They need something to wake them up. Like, really, I don't understand. Wake up. This is, it happened in Europe. It's happening in the U.S. You think it's not going to happen here? We see the signs already.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you. This reminded, so both my grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and I grew up very close to my grandmothers. And as a child, I remember hearing their stories about the horrors of the Holocaust, and it really very deeply affected me growing up. And I read a lot about the Holocaust, and I just always carried that burden with me all my life, that they're suffering. And the events that are happening right now are reminding me of exactly what took place before the Holocaust. And I find people are burying their head in the sand.
Yeah.
They don't want to acknowledge.
Yeah.
They don't want to acknowledge there's a problem. Mm-hmm. And I don't see how they don't see the comparison right before the Holocaust and now. I mean, look at the BDS movement, right? Just in Nazi Germany, they boycotted the Jewish businesses.
Yeah.
They smashed synagogue windows. They're doing that now. They had caricatures of Jews. They're doing that now. I mean, everything is happening all over again. And I don't understand why people don't see that it's starting all over again and it's not going to go away. It's only going to get worse. We need to take action. We need to have every community, everybody stand up and do something. Join me in this movement. Help me take this workshop nationwide to all the Jewish communities. We need to fight this before it's really a problem and we're not able to do anything anymore. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but God forbid there could be another Holocaust. We don't know. We don't know what's in the future.
And we will never let that happen.
Never again, but we have to mean it.
Yes, but what's important is for that never to happen, Israel must stay as strong. Because if we don't have Israel behind us, we'll be in big trouble.
Yes, that's
very,
right.
very big trouble.
That's
and
right.
that's one of the, I mean, there's so many other reasons why we should support Israel,
Yes.
but one of the things, this is our homeland, and if we don't have where to go, where are you going to go?
Yeah, nowhere to go. Israel's the
That's
only
what
place
happened
we
to
can
the
go.
Jews in Germany. Well, yes, they still had a home in Israel. They snuck into Israel even under the British rule.
Right, they did.
I know.
And-
My father used to be on the beaches getting people from the boat to kibbutzim before the under the watchful eye of the British.
Right, the pioneers.
Yes.
Yes. And we're lucky to have Israel, but we need to support Israel.
Yes,
we need to
do.
support them with all their decision making, with their
And
politics.
listen, Israel is not perfect.
No, nobody is.
No,
Nobody
but
is.
yes, it's a democracy. They're not perfect. There's a lot of things wrong with it. But like any other country, and I will say you're not happy with whoever is in politically.
Right.
Vote them out.
Right.
But that's democracy, and we thank God we have that. But it's the only home we have.
It's the only home we have. We have to support it. We have to buy Israeli products. We have to make sure we support them in any way we can. We need to teach about Zionism. We need to instill Zionism in our children's hearts so that they feel connected to
I
Israel.
would say, like, when did Zionism become a bad word?
Yeah.
I mean, this is our forefather was Zionim because they wanted to, a homeland.
Right.
How did we allow the world to use Zionist as a bad word?
It's a bad word. If you support Israel, you're a bad person, according to the media, right? It's
it's according to some Jews as well.
and some Jews,
that's why I keep saying we have to be united. Otherwise, we will not exist.
Yeah, we have to be united, support Israel, and we have to be proud to be Zionists. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's our country. We're Jews. It's the Jewish state.
I'm proud to be a Zionist. I mean,
Me too.
Yeah.
And we should never be embarrassed to say it. And I find a lot of the youth now, they're embarrassed to say they're Zionists. They're afraid to say they're Zionists because
they're
people
not
judge
educated.
them. And that's why they need to be
agree with
educated,
you.
right?
So I'm going to see if I can help you out. Since this show goes all across Canada, and if there's anybody in, Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Montreal, wherever, if you want to, help, and, you don't have to be Jewish, and if you want to help and get this message across, please get in touch with Agnes and let's do it. Let's put some seminars, educational seminars, all over Canada. And I think this is something that would breach all cultures.
Yeah, we have to work together with non-Jews as well. So fighting
absolutely.
anti-Semitism is not only a Jewish problem. We need to work with every other religion and every other population to explain to them how anti-Semitism affects the Jews first, but eventually it will trickle down to others as well.
I was just going to say that, haters, they'll use the Jews first, but believe me, then they'll go down the line,
Exactly.
They'll go down the line and, whoever they don't like will be next.
Just like Hitler did, right?
Of course.
So it was
Hitler
the gypsies and then the political refugees and everyone else who came after the Jews, right?
But he started with his own people. Anybody that had any disease, were sterilized. I mean, anybody that had some kind of a mental illness was put to death.
Right.
So it wasn't, that's how he started. I mean, the Jews were his favorite.
Yeah.
But he went down. Yeah, let's not forget how many gypsies he killed.
Exactly.
And so forth. So I agree with you 100%. So help her out. We have a beautiful woman here that is actually taking the, control and doing something. And you need all the support. I think all the organization, whoever is watching, this woman needs support.
Please.
And yes, you do. You can't do it all alone.
I can't do it on my own.
No, you
It's
can't.
been an uphill battle. So I need everyone's help. I need people to support me. I need people to contact me. My email is on the page.
Yep.
Help me bring this into other communities. It's so important. It needs to go everywhere. It needs to go to every Jewish community in Canada. I mean, hopefully one day worldwide, we never know, but definitely nationwide in Canada, it's very important. And I can use all the help I can get. I'm a one-man show, and it's not easy to do this all on your own.
I can't imagine. It's not easy. Of course not. You can't. You need the community to come and help you.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of volunteers that want nothing else but to see, anti-Semitism go away.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been very difficult. I've been looking for volunteers even to help at the events, and it's been very difficult to find even volunteers to come help the evening of. People need to step up.
Oh, you need volunteers?
Yeah,
She needs
we
volunteers,
need
guys.
volunteers.
Come on, anybody that can help. This is going to be on the screen, and if you need more information, you can call me. You can call Agnes. We'll definitely help you volunteer. And I mean, come on, volunteer is the least people can do.
Exactly. Do something. Anything you do is better than nothing.
I'll get you some volunteers.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if anybody that knows me, my kids, my friends, I volunteer everybody.
That would be amazing, because really, like I said, I can use all the help I can get, from setting up the space in the room to showing up at the event and supporting the event, to having the young people attend, because I find it's always the 40 or 50 and above who attend these things. We need the young people to come and attend.
The next generation.
This is their job, because this is going to be their problem in 20 years.
It is.
Right.
It's not sad.
Yeah,
that
it's very sad.
The legacy that we're leaving the next generation. And I always tell those that think that how would I say it? That they're Jewish, but they don't want to go there and say they're Jewish. Hitler went back 4 generations.
Yeah.
So if you forget who you are, there will be somebody there that will remind you who you are.
Always.
So let's not forget who you are. Let's try to help Agnes. I mean, I'm amazed at what you're doing.
Thank you.
I am, because, a mother of 3, I mean, that's a full-time job on its own.
Yes.
And to actually, go out and do something because you care, that's amazing. But, it is true. One person can change the world.
One person can change the world.
Yeah.
You can change the world. You can be that person who can change the world.
That's right.
I'm worried for my children. My children are young, and I'm worried that in 20 years, this is going to be a real big problem that our children will not be able to fix. Listen. We have to start building the bridges now in order for our children to take over.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is education and educating our friends, educating, different cultures, because a lot of it comes from ignorance. And a lot of it, people, they just don't know.
Right.
They hear one side of it and they believe that, whatever the other side, is saying is true. I don't even want to repeat, the things that I hear that, we're supposed to have done.
Right.
And they don't, really know the other side. But if our own children don't know our history, how are they going to even be able to have an argument? Not an argument,
right. Yeah.
Finish this argument if they don't know and they cannot, defend, Israel or defend themselves.
And even worse, they'll believe it because they don't know better. So they'll believe it, and then that will be their new truth.
Yeah.
And they're going to teach that to their children. And this is how we're going to eventually slowly lose the Jewish population, the Zionist population. And what will happen to Israel when half the population in 20 years will believe the lies that are spoken about Israel? It's
sadly,
scary.
Sadly, we're also there already. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think you need all the help you can get. Anybody that's listening that can help Agnes in any form, I think it's a good thing. And if anybody's listening across Canada, come and help her and start your own chapter with, Agnes, wherever you are. And
we'll do it together.
Yeah.
I need a team. I need help. Again, this is so important. This is not an event where you can sit back and say, oh, my favorite show is on that night, or, oh, I have to do my nails that night. This is bigger than that. If you're going to attend an event, this is the event to attend.
I agree with you. 100%.
This is what will get people talking, people moving. It'll get other organizations to also
take a stance,
Pay
to
attention.
put programs together, pay
Yeah.
attention. We need
agree.
to voice our opinions. This is our chance to voice what we think the organizations are doing or not doing. This is our chance to express ourselves. This is where we can make a difference.
Good luck.
Thank
I'll
you.
help you in any way I can, and I'll definitely get you some volunteers.
Thank you.
I hope you come back and tell us what's happening and keep us
Definitely.
posted. And if anything we can do for you, I'm sure we will. I'm going to tell you, please help her. Please let's unite, and please let's eliminate, anti-Semitism in Canada. I mean, and around the world, but let's start with Canada.
Yes.
And then we can move on.
Yes.
And I thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you again next week.